I want to salute you, homie, for building your own thing and doing your own thing, creating your own platform, your own website.
I got one life to live out my dreams, and I'm giving this thing all I got. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I represent the culture.
Right now, you turning up on Mr.
Hold up, Lil John. I got it. You now turned up with MrTeleferro.com, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, what's happening? It's Starlito, and I'm rocking with it's MrTeleferro.com. Yeah, grind hard.
Hello, how you doing? After Teleferro, Mr. Teleferro TV. No, you're not watching a new interview that was shot today. You are not. All right? But because I was an upcoming channel, I was doing these classic interviews with legends, and I wasn't getting the views. I was getting 50 to 100 views interviewing some of the legends of all time. All right? So what we're going back through is reposting a lot of these interviews with legends so you can enjoy it. You probably didn't see it the first time, I'll be honest with you. So no, you're not watching a new interview. I just want to throw that out there, but you are watching some exclusive content, and you should think it's dope that somebody's doing this without any brand behind them. There's no radio station behind me, no TV network. I'm literally the guy with a couple of my homies going out in the field trying to figure this thing out, all right? Shout out to Gabe and Court. There is no label behind me. There's just me going out trying to live my dreams. So no, this is not a new interview, but this is an exclusive interview, and you should rock with it just because you see somebody going out after their dreams. All right, $1 in a dream, all I got. Mr. Teleferro TV, thank y'all for the love. This is the media page that you're currently on. Salute, I'm out.
All right, we are live back with this MrTeleferro.com. I'm here with an artist from the 615 who's been doing this thing for a long, long time. You might have heard him with his records, I Go Ham, mixtapes, Cold Turkey, Stepbrothers 1, the album Stepbrothers 2, a plethora of music. It's just been killing the game for a long time. Insomnia Addict. I'm just giving you a couple of the projects we've heard this man on. I'm here with 615 on Starlito. How you doing, my man?
Pretty good. I'm happy to be here. I appreciate y'all having me. Starlito, as you said. I come from Nashville. Right now we're in Knoxville. I had a show about 4 hours ago. I haven't been asleep, but
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
Man, we're gonna get into one of your homeboys, Kevin Gates, because I feel like we don't really get tired right now. It's early.
Yeah, that's the phrase that pays. I don't get tired.
Yeah.
I rock with that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know. Could you get into briefly when you switched from All Star and made the transition to Starlito altogether? What went into that, and why make that transition?
Well, I recorded professionally under the name All Star since 2003, and I released 5 mixtapes under the name All Star. I got signed to Cash Money under the name All Star Cashville's Prince, which to me was always a little bit of a long title. I did kind of come up with that, or the streets kind of gave me that title following Young Buck's lead. He had went platinum. I was the new artist making the most noise, so it was kind of like Prince of the Ville. I was Cashville's Prince All-Star for a while. And around 2006, I started gradually transitioning into this, I don't want to say a Starlito persona, but I released Starlito's Way 1, a mixtape, in 2006. And I released Starlito's Way 2, a double disc, an album, in December 2007. It was on my 23rd birthday. And at that point, the transition was almost full scale, because professionally, there was a DJ with the name All-Star, and I was running into a lot of branding issues with the All-Star thing. And around that time, I started distancing myself from a lot of entities and started taking my career into my own hands. And so legally, it was easier for me to move forward under a new artist name. I had a lot less issues that would have had to been resolved, as far as it was almost as if I was a new artist and able to pursue a new situation, because I had been signed as this. And not to say that, people still call me All-Star. People are familiar with my older music especially, and that's cool too. But the Starlito thing started with that series, and by the time I dropped that second album, that album, Starlito's Way 2, I was with Cash Money at the time, but I just put out an independent album just because. And really more so because I didn't know how long I had on Earth at that time. I was living so wild, I kind of felt like early demise might have been in the cards for me. And all my favorite artists had released double disc at that time. Biggie had a classic double disc. I even like Jay-Z's Blueprint 2. Tupac had the double disc. And I felt like that's something I need to do. And I was like 22 when I recorded. I released it on my 23rd birthday. And after that, by 2009, I was really, paving the way for the Starlito movement. It's still coming into fruition. But just some insight on that. It comes from the Carlito's Way, the movie. I just always related to that character, understood that character, even the mindset of trying to detach and, in his case, get out of the game he was in, get out of the underworld and the street. Like, he got out of jail and was on a path to get away from that. In my world, it's really hard to get out of the game the street game. It's hard to get out of a street life, and so that was my goal. It was like people always clean the Scarface and that Al Pacino role, but I liken myself to the Carlito's Way of wanting to, transcend what you have been doing and get into a new and improved you. And that's how I started my latest single, Mood Swings and Misses. And I got this vision in my head that's new and improved me. So Starlitos, it was all-star for a while. I made a few hits. I made a few ripples in the radio world. I got a record deal. I wrote for some artists. I made some money. I saw the world as all-star, but I made all the financial progress. I made all the power moves. I've accomplished all my goals as an artist since I started pushing the Starlito line, and I put out 30 mixtapes or so since then too. So that helps, I guess.
You brought up the Cash Money days earlier. For those who don't know, did you go to Cash Money with Yo Gotti, and what was that like back then?
In 2004, around the time I released my third and fourth mixtape, which was summer 2004, I had a lot of offers from a lot of established artists, a lot of companies. I had a lot of offers from I had an offer from Young Jeezy and his company, Yo Gotti, around the same time. Yo Gotti was more popular in my area. I hadn't really heard of or wasn't familiar with Jeezy at the time. But we took the meetings, we linked, we developed a bond, we recorded The Grey Goose and songs like that you heard. I started working that song early on, and I got with Yo Gotti and his company and signed an independent deal. Soon after, he signed his first major deal, and then we got a production deal together through his company with Cash Money, but I was a solo artist with a little bit of priority in that situation. And so from there, I had my deal over there, and we were working together throughout that. And even when we kind of had outpaced or outgrew that, we still worked together for a few years past my ties with Cash Money Records. And when I was an artist there, it was never with Young Money. That was a misconception. I was signed through Birdman and Slim side of things. And that lasted until about 2010.
When you shocked the world when you came out, I believe that was last year for Yo Gotti's birthday bash. You popped up in Memphis. Nobody was expecting that one. What happened with you and Gotti that y'all had to hash out whatever? And how were you guys able to settle that and just get back to the money?
Well, I think it's interesting because you said shock the world, and I don't think it was. Maybe it was a shock to people that were trying to read more into whatever the situation was or wasn't, because at one time we had a partnership. We had partnered, we had a joint venture dating back to 2004. And so we've done hundreds of songs together since then, plenty of them released, and I think that was a gap of time in say 2011 where we stopped releasing as much music together. And I believe a misconception came with that there was some kind of issue between us. And he said this last week on stage in Nashville. We were on the same homecoming for Tennessee State University.
TSU,
we were on the same homecoming concert. And he called me out toward the end of the show and was like, I just want everybody to know, whatever you might think or what you think you know or heard, this is my little brother right here. Like, we've been business partners going back 10 years. You know, I mean, there's plenty of people that hadn't heard of me or Yo Gotti 10 years ago. We were in business together then. So a shortage of music for a period of time was just that. We just weren't recording a lot of music together. We've done probably 6 or 7 shows together in the last year. I'm on his newest artist, Snooty Wild's EP that just dropped, the Go Mode. I'm the first voice you hear on
Here
there.
I go. That's a smash. That's one of my favorites right there.
Shout out to Snooty.
Yeah.
Shout out to their team. I'm on there. I'm on that EP that just dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Yo Gotti's featured on my Fried Turkey album that dropped Thanksgiving in 2013. So we're still making money together. We're still making moves. I talk to him about every week or so. At least we really have a really brotherly like bond that people will never understand. We've lived together at times. So coming out to, you know, his birthday party was a no-brainer by the time it had happened. And past that, like I said, we're actually back working pretty closely.
What's that like when you just brought up the TSU homecoming? We had kind of like all of Tennessee on stage. Well, most of it.
Well, we had a strong presence.
Yeah.
Tennessee hip-hop. That was good. It was it just felt, the energy of it was good because I think Tennessee has one of the strongest music scenes in the hip hop world, and I had made mention of it online. Like soon after that, I thought of, I was like, A-Ball, MJG, Young Buck, Yo Gotti, Juicy J, Young Dolph, Don Tripp, Snooty Wild, Starlito.
That's Tennessee right there.
Et cetera, et cetera. Not even the namesakes of it, but consider that none of us sound alike. You know, I think we all make good music, and I don't think any of us sound alike. The same can't be said for a lot of regions, a lot of, you know, markets. The artists produce like similar material, really, you know, almost, I don't know, it's just really similar to me. And in our case, a lot of our stuff is parallel and it connects because we're from the same place more or less, but we don't sound alike. We don't rap alike, and I just think that's another testament to the strength of our music, you know. Memphis has a real soulful sound. Nashville is just a musical city in general. All those artists are from those 2 cities. I'm like, yeah, we really have something going on there. And I think if we can all just put it together and keep pushing, that we're bound to have, it's bound to be some breaking point where Tennessee music really has its moment in hip hop, or as far as rap goes.
We talked about this in Memphis a couple months back, but I want you to briefly get into it again. What is it about you and Don Tripp that just meshes so well? We get possibly, well, I'll let you announce that about maybe a Stepbrothers 3, but what is it about you guys that meshes so well and you guys are continuing making music together?
I mean, first of all, no doubt there will be a Stepbrothers 3. It's in production right now.
You heard that.
I'll spare you a great deal of the details about it, but it's in production right now. And the thing about Don Tripp and I is, I believe our chemistry is really, really natural. We're both very, very eccentric, very, very eclectic in our own ways. We're introverted, but we're also so different, and I think that's what works. Like, we're both intellectuals of some sort. We're both really observant of things, I think, but like, we got a lot of differences. But that's the blend. That's what I think everybody gets. Even one of my favorite songs we've ever done together, Caesar and Brutus, like a lot of songs, one of us may pace the idea more than the other, but we can't. It's really hard to leave one another behind. You know, even if he has a great idea and I'm just like, okay, I just kind of get it, but I'm gonna rock with you. You know, I'm kind of quick enough on my feet to keep up, and vice versa. So, I mean, it's that. Like, we both are serious about our craft and serious about it word for word. You know, there should be some value in it all the way. Like, dudes got the sickest ad-libs to me, and a lot of times they rhyme. I don't think people probably have always gotten caught up in his ad-libs, how quirky or how catchy they are, but a lot of times they rhyme. And that's when you know somebody's really got attention to detail, like with words. So, we allow each other that freedom to be ourselves within our bond. I think it just shines. It just, that's part of what makes it really work. Like, he's not trying to make the song sound like him on one of my songs or vice versa. It's like, okay, I'm doing a song with Star, so I gotta rap like Star rap, or vice versa, And I think some groups are like that. I think a lot of groups that I like that. UGK and UGK with Pimp C and Bun B was like that. I think Outkast is like that. It's two individuals that are just almost that much better collectively, and they just do the same thing they would do if they were by themselves, but
can make it mesh together.
Definitely.
What? This is a kind of selfish question right here. One of my favorites, you brought up the Caesar joint, but one of my favorite joints from you guys together, granted it was on the first one, which was a mixtape, was the Outtakes.
Well, the first one was only a mixtape because it was on mixtape websites. It had 15 songs on original production. That's pretty much would be categorized as an album.
Yeah. Well, you just gave it. Let me fix that up a little bit. Y'all gave it to us for free.
Well, it was a mixtape. You can call it that. But I just was like, that's just interesting. It wasn't much that separated the first one and the second one, other than presentation.
Yeah, you're right.
But you were saying outtakes.
Outtakes. I'm kind of selfish here. That was one of the hardest 15 minutes I've ever heard of just picking beats and just depicting beats basically and murdering them. Is it possible that we'll get an outtakes on some similar to that on Stepbrothers 3?
Yeah, of course it's possible, but maybe not even in that form. Maybe you'll get it before Stepbrothers 3. Maybe you'll get it in just some form of part of the outtakes. Karate in the Garage, that surfaced about a week before Stepbrothers 1. So some things just happen, they just come together. Well, at that time, it was a jacking for beats that we just put on, spin on. We let the word play into the beat selection, into the transitions. Like when we started that song, for those that aren't familiar, it's like a 7-track jacking for beats that starts it off. And we didn't say, all right, we're going to do this beat, then this beat, then this beat, then this beat. Like, we probably had 8 bars here, 4 bars here, back and forth on the first beat. And by the time, we kind of get to, maybe it's enough of this beat, then we're like, all right, what's coming in next? It's such an on-the-fly recording process that we couldn't say, all right, we're going to do another one of those at some point. It's just got to be the same level of inspiration. Even those beats, we liked those same beats to jack, and it was just that much easier to do it together. So, just expect the unexpected with Stepbrothers 3. If you notice, we put out an album and it charted, it did well with 2, but that was on the tail end of that was 2.5 years after doing 1, which was just something that we put together in 3 studio sessions.
Wow.
So I can't say we got an outline for Stepbrothers 3 or 4, but, we're working on it. I can't say that.
Rumor has it that you and Kevin Gates gonna be getting in the studio for an album or a mixtape or something like that. Could you verify that and tell us where we at with that?
Well, I'll just say this: every time Gates and I get together, we end up at the studio and we end up stopping at a gas station, either to or fro. It's just a part of our process, and so tentatively, we got a project together called Studios and Gas Stations.
Okay,
okay.
Different.
I don't want to give you too much insight on it, but we got a lot of songs. We got a lot of music. We put out 10 songs together last year. We got freestyles and stuff just leaking at random as we speak. A couple of them dropped this year. So, expect the unexpected with that. I talked to Gates 2 hours ago, actually. I talked to you after the show. I went and ate breakfast over there, and I talked to him for about an hour. That's one of my best friends. Not even musically. You asked me something out the record about when he shouts me out, but that's really one of my best friends.
And he call you his favorite artist all the time. Any interview he do, he gonna always bring up Starlito. What's that like? And he blew up out of nowhere as well.
The strange thing is he was doing that before we met, before we linked. I actually heard him on a satellite radio interview a couple months before we met. I didn't even know who it was. I heard him shout me out. I cut it up, was talking about my music, went back into his interview, and I was just intrigued. When we linked, it's the same deal. I just think it's genuine. You know, over the same time, he's became my favorite rapper. At least if not for the moment, but one of my favorite rappers, period, because it's just raw. And that's the strength of our bond. Like, what he appreciates the most out of my music is the humility of it, is the fact that it can appeal to so many people in so many walks of life, because I generalize the feelings that I've learned to internalize, like the pain or whatever. I make it common enough, or just any examples, whether street life or, you know, some intellectual stuff. I try to bring it to a level to make somebody think about it. Like, even if you don't know about it, I give you something to think about. And you know, his end, like, it's just raw. It's just so emotive. And, you know, every time he shouts me out, it's love, because his profile has raised so much, but that's really like my brother. And I always appreciate it and I love it because I feel like he's being honest. He don't owe me nothing, like, from the first time he shouted me out. So I feel like he's answering those questions as they're asked to him. I'm just, you know, fortunate enough to be in anybody's CD player or MP3 player and anybody's headphones or coming through their speakers. I appreciate it all, even more so, you know, when bro got the appeal that he's got. You said it was overnight. I don't believe it came up overnight.
Really?
You know
Really?
what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I just don't believe that. Like, it's a fair amount of research that you could do and see it wasn't an overnight thing. You know, his status may have just transcended where it was, and it's just, and it appears that way, but it's never like that. Not real success. I got a tattoo on my arm that says the only place success comes before work is in a dictionary. So I know he been releasing music since about '08 at least, '07 or something like that. That's not overnight. I mean, I hear these rappers like dance songs and stuff that started rapping a month ago, and they say that in their interviews. That's relatively overnight.
But Lito, it is kind of, you know, with the I don't get tired and some of the other comments he made, like, it just seems like he just kind of blew.
I mean, yeah, that's relative. You know, that's a matter of perspective, because, like, the blowing up is still in process. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know his work ethic. I know he ain't near where he's supposed to be or where he gonna end up. So to me, it ain't blown up yet. It's just, you know, it's in process. We witnesses right now, and I love that. I enjoy people's successes from a distance all the time. Not even people I'm close to, or, you know, just to see you with your logo on your mics from, you know, previous interviews, and just to see people come up and see people grind. It's powerful. I try to absorb the energy.
Appreciate that love. Now, we just talked about how Gates glorifies you as an artist, as a lot of others do. Do you ever still feel like you slept on as an artist? I don't know if anybody ever just came out and just asked you that straight up. You ever feel like you slept on as an artist, being this over 10 years in the game?
I mean, definitely in certain regards. I don't dwell on it. I did say in that Insomniatic song, I can't sleep till they stop sleeping on me. And considering a statement like that, like, it's just my drive. That's what motivates me. Like, I can't expect at any point for everyone to be in the know, or for everyone to be behind what I got going on, or be awake to it. But it's just, I understand that this is a part of it. You have to. It's a proving ground. You have to constantly show and prove. And so I don't sleep because people are sleeping on me, so to speak. But at the same time, I never hang my head about it. Nah, it's just more so like, all right, I see what people are excited by sometimes, and I'm like, well, y'all don't hear this, what I got going on, but that just made me want to go do more, or be more active.
Is that because you know, lyricism and what you rap about, you know, and you talk about the not just the ups, but more or less the downs? You think that's lost, like lyricism as a whole, a lost art?
Not lyricism. There's tons of guys I think are doing that thing creatively, but I don't think lyricism is popular, you know, because we have people that make a splash and lyricism isn't a priority to them. And so how could you ever expect it to be? You know what I'm saying? If you make it saying, ABC 123. No diss to Michael Jackson, the young Michael Jackson, or anything, but why would you stop with that type of formula? Why would you ever explore the other 23 letters of the alphabet or whatever, you know? So I get that, but for me, like, I always valued that. I was always listening to music that was making me say, wow, rewind it, and I want to hear what, or the whole story, the whole song makes, like, that's what I was always into. So that's how I'm on it. Like, I'm not in the competition or in the lane with the people doing the other stuff, but, I mean, I just know music is so diverse, there's room for everybody to do it, a little bit of everything, if you ask me. I just try to stay true to me and what I enjoy out of it.
You pretty conceptual when you come to things. You always got a underlying message when you do things like the Mood Swing and Misses video. You went out to Vegas and shot that one, I believe. What was behind that? And I believe we got some Tupac correlation somewhere along in there.
Well, my main performance shots in that video, I filmed at the intersection where Tupac was allegedly murdered and was shot up leading into his death. And I mean, him being my favorite, if not one of my favorite rappers, I just thought that would be interesting for me to go there 18 years later. There was some speculation he may return, his death might. Anyway.
Do you even believe he's dead? Cause
I don't know.
Okay,
I mean,
okay. I heard that saying you
I don't know what I believe,
yeah,
or what I believe in, but I just thought that was an interesting backdrop, you know, considering the perspective of that song and even my album. I feel like Tupac was a black sheep. I feel like he was very much enlightened and awakened. He may have been kind of misunderstood and even misguided at times based on some of the things I've grown to try to understand. But that's me. That's probably you at times. That's anybody. So he was so passionate, and I'm like, that's a cool black backdrop for me. Because at first, when I first visited the area, I was just in shock that they don't have a sign up. There's no in memory of. It's like, wow. So from there, I was like, I'm going to just shoot part of the scene out here. I like Vegas. That's one of the places I actually reside in my downtime. I do a lot of recording there. I recorded Insomniatic there.
Wow.
I recorded a lot of Black Sheep Don't Grin there. I have somewhere to lay my head there. So just from being there and moving around, I just thought that fitting. But you know, that's like what my album's gonna be. A lot of just capsules of time capsules of trying to just really capture feelings and like how something made me feel at the time and make a song that would make the listener feel that, if not, you know, displacing the feelings they already got, but just embrace like what I'm feeling. Like, okay, I get what he's going through, or I've been there, or damn, that song's for me. That's just kind of how I'm looking at it.
You brought up Black Sheep Don't Grin. Where are we at with that project, and what does it mean for a black sheep not to grin?
I mean, I really would love for you to hear the album and interpret it, you know, at your own free will. But for me, it means that, okay, you ever heard the term a sheepish grin? Like somebody almost smiles in shame, like they've done something they're embarrassed by it, and they kind of grin, laugh it off. The idea is like a black sheep, you know, which would be the outcast of the herd or the flock or whatever. Well, they don't have any shame because they're already, you know, the outcast, so to speak. And so black sheep don't grin. And in my world, as a black sheep in this industry or this business or this realm, you know, as a black sheep, I feel like there's no shame in me being myself. So I may not rap about what everybody else rapping about. I may rap about touchy things. I may rap about emotive or emotional things. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed to be who I am. I put a song about bullying on Stepbrothers too. I made a record about the regret and the pain that comes from me mistreating a girl to the point where she aborts my unborn child without my knowledge. Like, this is where I take it in my music, you know what I'm saying? I rap about some of the uncomfortable topics in the street. I make raps telling kids, don't sell drugs. You know what I'm saying? Despite what I might know about that or the life I might come from, to me, this is what makes me a black sheep. And I'm like, I'm not embarrassed. I don't have to hide my hands or, this is where it's at. You don't got to feel it. If it's for you, it's going to probably 100% be for you. But I'm also trying to encourage people to be themselves and embrace their weaknesses and make them their strengths. So it's like, it's just serious. Like, black sheep don't grin because they have to go through so much else. A black sheep is going to be mistreated by a shepherd or ignored by a shepherd or not even considered a part of the whole all the way through. So how can I do what everybody else does, or how can I react to my feelings the same way as everybody else? And even, if I take a revolutionary stance, that's the Tupac, that's the Martin Luther King, those are the Malcolm X's, in the sense of like leadership has its, toils with much responsibility. To whom much is given, much is required, kind of thing. And like, that's where I am as a man. That's where I am in my life. I have a lot of people that I have to take care of. I have a lot of people that this dream is affording me. I don't want to say the luxury, but the privilege of being able to provide and this and that. So this is how I'm on it. Like, I'm not just going to, I don't want to take it too far out and give too much about the album, but just being yourself is the most important and the best thing you can do. And in my case, I'm the best at being me. I'm the expert. I sit in business meetings, I meet with record labels, and it almost starts and ends the conversation. And like, I'm the expert. No one can tell me what to do about me or with my situation better than me. We can partner, I can involve y'all. But even at this point, I got to have the capital to move freely, and as an independent artist, I could drop the album tomorrow, and that's where I am. I'm trying to embrace all that and move forward.
So I know
that's my
you
message.
You can't leak no timetable for the album. No, end of this year, next year.
I mean, it should be this year.
Okay.
My real fans will probably have a good educated guess on when I'm gonna drop. Because I've dropped about 5 or 6 projects on this date before in previous years. But I'll leave it there.
Kind of give me a hint right there, but we'll leave it at that on that one.
Yeah.
Before we get you out of here, now it's MrTellerFair.com. We big on sports. I'm kind of big in the sports field.
I'm into sports a lot too.
Yeah, and I know that. I know how sport. I don't ask everybody this but I know how sports savvy you are.
Okay.
Could you give me a Super Bowl pick and why? I know you a Titans fan as well.
Well, I predict that my Nashville Cardinals, Junior Pee Wee, my Triple Pee Wee teams, the 5 and 6 year olds, I predict that both of them are gonna win their league championships.
Okay.
They're both 6-0 right now. So I want to shout out my little league.
Shout out to the little leaguers, man.
The Mid-State Youth Football, Nashville Cardinals. I'm sorry, the Nashville Cardinals. We got a first year program. We got almost 200 kids, and as far as sports goes, that's just something that I'm almost personally proud of in my own way, just to be involved, not taking pride or taking any more credit for what's going on there. I'm just glad to be involved. But you said Super Bowl prediction. The 49ers on my team, so it's hard for me not to pick them coming out of the NFC. But if I had to make a prediction right now, I would say the Bengals and the Seahawks. I mean, the Bengals are still undefeated right now. This is week 5.
Week 5, yeah.
So.
When y'all see this is kind of early in the season.
I talked to Pac-Man Jones 2 nights ago, and that defense is pretty tough.
Yeah, they looking good. Andy Dalton got them looking pretty good over there. AJ Green.
I don't know. I really don't. I'm gonna just say the Bengals and the Seahawks.
Bengals and the Seahawks.
The Seahawks are just so tough at home, and they just show they know what it takes. But to me, in a perfect world, it would be the 49ers. And out of the AFC, I like to see the Titans. Lord willing, but that's kind of unrealistic.
You kind of stretching right now, Lito.
Yeah, but I say the 49ers and 49ers and Broncos.
Okay.
Might be my secondary pick. Cause Peyton Manning's just pretty tough in crunch time.
Yeah. You know, he pretty big here as well.
But right now, if I just as a gambler, I would say the Seahawks and the Bengals might get there. Just whatever that's worth to y'all.
Sports expert Starlito gives us his Super Bowl predictions. Make sure y'all be on the lookout for that Black Sheep Don't Grin. We could get it from here, anywhere from here to I don't know when. He said it's a specific date for all the Lido fans. Y'all should check out.
It'll be out mid-December.
Okay.
I say that y'all heard it first.
Okay, you got.
But I might put out a free mixtape before then. So pay attention. Ties and Taxes Part 2. Oops, I might even get y'all the title.
Well, he just dropping announcements right here on this.
These are just theories, though.
Okay.
These are just theories.
Plenty of projects coming. A lot of music coming. Gates album with him. Stepbrothers 3 coming.
Me and Young Dolph been working on a lot of music together too. I just throw that out there.
Yeah, you and Dolph in the studio. That's gonna be crazy. Y'all got a lot of smashes together.
We've already got like 15 songs together out. Just,
yeah. Just not in a mixtape form. Yeah.
But we've been working. We've been working on some things. I enjoy working with people that inspire me. You know, people, because I work with the same people over and over, and majority of them inspire me. They bring something out of me. And so I'm working with the same people. I mean, I got a good rapport with everybody I've been working with. Just want to focus on the good energy and keep pushing forward. Black Sheep Don't Grin, theories. Stay tuned.
I always love when I can get in with Lito. I always got some insightful words for us. Lito, thank you for doing the interview with me.
No problem. It's bright and early. I just ate breakfast. No sleep.
No sleep. It's early.
Real rap.
It's Starlito. It's MrTelefaro.com.
Hey, first and foremost, I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would love if you watch other videos while you're on my YouTube channel. Now, while you're here, people ask me all the time, how can you support Mr. Telefaro? Well, if you want to support me in my future endeavors, the first thing I want you to do is subscribe to my channel. If you subscribe to my channel, you get all my content first. Your subscribe goes a long way. I get to understand my demographics, understand who support me, who got something out this video. So first things first, a subscribe will go a long ways. Next, if you really rock with me, donate $1 to my GoFundMe. I have a GoFundMe link in the description. If you really want to support me, just $1. Showing me $1 and some good wishes will go a long way. If you want to support me and you want to help me with my travels, I got a lot of things coming up, but I got to get them travel fees there. I got to find a way to get there, so that can help me financially if you really want to go there. Also, a word of encouragement. Thank you. Whatever it is, talk to me in my comment box below. Comment on this video, like, subscribe, do whatever you got to do this video. I got to thank you for your time. I don't take it for granted. My name is Mr. Telefaro. Now, if you subscribe, help, donate, do whatever, you can see more videos like this, more new exclusive content. I got a lot on the way. Trust me. Thank you. It's MrTelefaro.com.